Okay, we'll go to Amy.
Oh, the way there.
Hiya.
Hi. I was just wondering, it was just a quick one actually, a practice question. Because my system's been so trained to go into kind of the alchemy and dissolving, I find sometimes when I sit to be, all this practice is always going on during the day, but when I actually sit down and do a practice, I find that my awareness is kind of wanting to go back to kind of being with things that are coming up, to dissolve them, and so that takes me away from kind of um, uh, focusing more on stillness sort of thing. So I just wondered if you had any advice for that.
The simplest, it's very, very common, and the simplest thing to do, if you can, is to bring awareness back to itself, first and foremost. If you can't seem to do that in that moment, so you're aware of some emotion or some energy playing, and if you can bring attention just away from that, bring awareness back to itself, that's the first, always the best, most powerful thing to dissolve these energies. They will dissolve by themselves just by taking attention off them. If you can't seem to do that in that moment, if attention is just sucked into it magnetically, then we can look at some contemplative inquiry. Then, okay, what's the story behind this? What is the literal experience I'm living in this moment? That will be the story. I just can't seem to stay as a self, or something like that, and then just to question, well, is that really true? Or is it true because, is it seeming to be true because I've been buying it, The amount of the ease with which attention automatically goes to a story or an energy or a pattern, which are all the same, shows us how much loyalty we still got to it. It doesn't mean we're doing anything wrong or bad. It's just, we all have those places, don't we, where, I'm being aware of awareness and I've got my Zen on and I feel great, and then, suddenly attention's gone, and it's just
like the practice has been like to be with them, to let them dissolve. So there's this thing in the moment of like, oh, but if I help it to dissolve, then I can get back.
And that's the story that's playing there, is there's something I can do to make these patterns dissolve faster. Like by putting attention on them, they're going to dissolve faster. And you just become an Olympic gold medalist pattern dissolver. And everyone that you dissolve, there's another 10 waiting to take its place. Have you noticed that? So it's just,
I wanted it. Yeah.
So if you see, like, the most powerful way is always to take attention off it if you can. How do you stop being affected by the program that's playing on the TV? Well, first and foremost is switch it off, walk away from it if you can. If you still find yourself arguing with the TV, then look at, well, is it really true what's being said here? What's the story what am I very literally experiencing here? If I feel I can do something to dissolve these energies, then I'm going to make myself into a doer that has to keep doing. There'll be endless patterns arising and never getting to the end of them, because I believe I'm the doer. Through bringing attention back to what's real, the self, or through contemplative inquiry, we're only seeing, we're not doing. I'm asking a question, is this really true? And then I'm seeing if it's true or not. I'm not doing anything. It's a very subtle one, but it's a powerful story nonetheless.
Big one. Yeah, it's quite a big one. Yeah, I have to. So what in that moment, because it is a big one. What can I ask in that moment then? Is
it really true I can do anything to get rid of these? Just because I've been experiencing that working and that I'm doing something, have I ever really come to the end of them? Am I really doing anything at all? There's a sense of someone doing something, like this conversation now, but Am I actually really doing anything as the awareness, as the noumenon, as the real self? Am I just seeing? I'm either seeing what I really am, or I'm seeing the story playing, and then I'm seeing if it's really true through some question. Or you know,
even when there's contemplation and inquiry happening, it's still, because there is a sense of doing there. So even
right
that
there.
has to be questioned.
Yeah, it is, and that's a good place to look at, isn't it? Is contemplation a doing or a seeing? Is meditation, self-inquiry, contemplation, are they doing, or am I just seeing? They're actually just happening spontaneously. The usual thought that plays is, I can do something to fix this. And then spontaneously a thought arises, is it really true I can do something to fix this? Therefore the experience begins. You know, even those are just happening spontaneously. And you're just watching, even the contemplation. Yeah, I might tell you to do some contemplation. Well, there's a sense of doing something still. I'm doing. And we'll give the doer something to do to prove to itself it's not doing anything. Does that help?
Yeah, it's quite chunky on that one.
It really does feel like we're doing something, because it seems like if I contemplate if this is true, something seems to change or lift or resolve, and I feel like I've done something or achieved something or got rid of something, or but you know, it's actually just a seeing, isn't it? It's an asking and then a seeing, and then a different experience happens in the mind and body because of that asking and seeing. Maybe put some attention on that and just really look at, am I actually doing something when I inquire or contemplate? Otherwise, we'll have lots of things to do with, you know, lots of endless patterns. And I did this for about 2 years before I figured this out. You know, all these problems kept coming up. And what is going on here? And then a really subtle causality loop that I can do something to get rid of these patterns. But right from the basic of just being yourself, being the self, they're dissolving because you're taking attention off them. That's the only reason, not because you've done anything.
Yeah, and I think just that permission as well, because it's sort of stuff that's come from my old teacher and teachings as well, and that permission just to kind of, as you said, just take your attention off completely, and it will dissolve by itself. And you know, and I know that I've experienced that, and but it's kind of, yeah, trusting that more deeply, because there is a bit of an addiction to that kind of process of,
Only because you want to make sure you wake up fully, only because you love freedom, that you're so conscientious about that. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. We're just looking at a more effective way to reach that goal, aren't we? You know, that when I leave my body and mind alone and put attention on what's real, they're quite good at working this stuff out by themselves, which is quite embarrassing for me when I realised, oh, okay, but liberating as well. You know, a little bit. All right, I've been making a big drama out of even this, but it seems that way, doesn't it? It seems that we're doing until we realise we're not. You know, and then we keep experiencing having to do, always something else to sort out. You know. Very good.
I'll listen to this as well. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Lovely.